Shavua Tov, good vach, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much for coming and joining us for this very special night of inspiration. The topic I'll be speaking about tonight is the secret to happiness. When I went out and I saw the flyer, I didn't realize that it had an extra S in the word secret. Secrets. So I'm going to try to make up a few others. I only had one in mind. Let's hope it works. Okay, you'll let me know. Whenever the Torah speaks on the topic of happiness, the word that is usually used is the word besimcha. The question is very simple. Why does the Torah use the word besimcha, which means with happiness, and not the word simcha or sameach? Why does it have to say, for example, Ivdu et Hashem besimcha, or mitzvah gdola liot besimcha? Another example is Tachat asher lo avatim et Hashem Elokechem besimcha uvituv levav. And last but not least, right now we're in Chodesh Adar. We all know Mi shenichnas Adar marvim besimcha, 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 besimcha. What's going on? Why besimcha? Why couldn't it say mitzvah gdola liot sameach? What does it have to say mitzvah gdola liot besimcha? So listen to what the Mefarshim, to what the commentators explain. Powerful. The reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem Yitbarach, God Almighty wrote besimcha is because He wanted to teach us what's the secret of how to become besimcha, how to be happy. How is it? What's the secret? It's very simple, Meirov, ladies and gentlemen. If you take the word besimcha and you move the letters around a little bit, the Hebrew word besimcha, obviously in Hebrew, you play around with the letters, you get the word machshava. Machshava means your thoughts, your mind. Besimcha, happiness, and machshava, thoughts, are the same exact letters to teach us that the power of the mind, your thoughts, is the secret to being happy. I think I should leave right now. That's the secret. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. I think everyone's happy, right? But, being that you're a lecturer, you have to elaborate a little bit. What does it mean? Besimcha, machshava, thoughts, happiness? By telling yourself to be positive is how you will become happy. By saying hakol letovah, everything is for the best. That is what is going to make you always happy. Keep in mind a very famous saying, whoever knows Hebrew will appreciate it. The saying is Adam shetamid sameach, tamid matzliach. A person that is always happy will always be successful. We see the topic of the power of the mind discussed in the Torah. Parashat Shelach, where God commands Moshe, Shrach lecha anashim, send for yourself people, spies, to check out the land of Israel. They're about to conquer the land, but they wanted to know what directions, what ways, who's there, etc. And they go, the spies go, and they come back to the Jewish people to give them the report. And when they come back, listen to what the pasuk, to what the verse quotes them as saying. They say as following: the spies are saying, that we were like grasshoppers in our eyes, and so we were in their eyes. The people in the city were very big, giants, but they considered themselves as grasshoppers, small. They mentioned first how they were like grasshoppers in their own eyes, and only afterwards they said that they were so in their eyes. What they perceived of themselves is what others perceived of them. Meirov, ladies and gentlemen, that is a powerful lesson. What we think of ourselves is what others will think of us. For example, if one person feels or thinks of himself as a shy individual, you know what's going to happen? You're going to act shy. People will look at you and they're going to feel like you're shy. And what happens is that you'll become a shy person. People will think of you as a shy person. If you're depressed, if you think of yourself as a depressed person, you know what's going to happen? Other people are going to think you're depressed as well. What you think of yourself is what others will think of you. Meirov, in Hebrew, I really, really hope that the people that don't speak Hebrew don't kill me, because I'm going to be using a few Hebrew things, but I'm going to try my very best to translate everything. In Hebrew, the words for pleasure and the words for blemish are the same exact letters. The word is oneg, means pleasure. Nega means blemish. What's the difference? The difference is one letter, which is an ayin. In Hebrew, an ayin, the letter ayin also means eye. The way you look at things. The way you look at things, it could be a pleasure, it could be so nice, or you could look at it with a certain eye, and it's a blemish. The way you look at something, it could be a cup that's half full, or the cup could be half empty. It's all in the eye. There's a problem. You know what the problem is? If you're happy, if you're too happy, you know what people think of you? What a weirdo. The guy's smiling. The guy's jolly. The guy's in a good mood. It's a problem, right? People are going to think you're weird. How do we solve the problem? The solution is very simple. The news is as follows. No matter what you do, people are going to think you're weird. People are going to comment. People are going to say things. I'm going to explain this, elaborate this with a mashal, a parable that, in my opinion, is very, very amazing. And we should all fasten our sita and enjoy. Nowadays, a couple gets married. What do? We rent a limo. We rent a limo, right? The chatan, the kala, the groom, the bride, they go in a limo, they go around town, they show off, they enjoy, right? But back then in Yemen, they didn't have limos a few hundred years ago. What was the way the chatan and kala, the bride and groom would go around town? They would have a donkey. They would go on the donkey, they would go around town, hello, we're happily getting married, right? But there was another problem. What was the problem? That a donkey could only hold one person at a time. So listen what happens. The bride and groom are getting ready for the wedding day. The wedding day comes in the morning. So one person has to go on the donkey. So the chatan, the groom obviously goes on the donkey. And they start on their merry journey. They go on and they're waving. And all of a sudden they hear, oh my gosh, what a poor lady. He's already taking advantage of her. They're not even married yet. He's already sitting on a donkey and she's walking. Oy vey, oh my gosh, this is just the beginning. Oh. They hear this. They overhear people saying that. Oh my gosh, that's a big problem. The chatan, the groom, jumps out of the donkey and he tells his wife, his future wife, you go on. She's like, okay, whatever. She goes on the donkey and they go a few blocks. Once again, they're waving, they're happy, they're excited, they're getting married. But all of a sudden, they overhear someone else. Oh my gosh, poor guy. They're not even married and already she's the boss in the house. She's already being the on top of it. Oh my gosh. And they overhear the comments. And the chatan and the groom says, they're right. You can't make me look like this, right? You get off the donkey, let's go. We're both walking, we'll have a donkey next to us. They start walking. And they're walking together, the donkey to the side of them. And all of a sudden they start hearing other people talking again. What crazy people. They have a donkey. It's a luxury to have a donkey. It's hot outside and they're not using the donkey. What nutcases. And they hear it. And they're like, you know what? They're right as well. What should we do? Oh, we'll both go on this donkey. That way no one could talk, right? No one will say anything. No one will comment on us. They both go on the donkey, a few more blocks, and they're happy, right? They're waving. And then again, they overhear someone saying, oh, poor donkey, you're killing the donkey. 2 people on a donkey, you can't handle it. And they get off the donkey and they're like, we don't know what to do. You know what? We'll take the donkey on our backs, we'll walk. No matter what you do, you're always going to get complaints. You're always going to have people saying things. Who cares? We know the right thing to do is to be happy. We have to be happy. I don't care what people say. I'm happy. I'm good. Life is great. Let's take this concept a step further. There was a professor in a college. He entered his classroom and asked his students to get prepared for a surprise test. They're shocked. The professor's a sweetheart. He never tests us, especially a surprise. No one likes that. We like different types of surprises, but a test? No way, right? So what happens is that they wait anxiously to see, and they see on their desks that the professor handed out the question paper, obviously upside down like they usually do. And once he handed them all out, he asked his students to turn the page around. They turn the page around and they see no questions. What do they see on the piece of paper? They simply see a black dot in the center. And the professor says, students, today we're really not going to have questions, but all I want you to do is write what you see on this document, on this piece of paper. So they all start writing and filling in and doing their task. And at the end of the class, the professor takes all the answer papers and he started reading each one of them one by one in front of all the students. All of them, with no exception, described the black dot, trying to explain its position in the middle of the sheet. And after all has been said and done, after all of them have been read out loud, the classroom is silent. The professor begins to explain, and I'm going to have to quote to you and read this because I don't want to miss a word. The professor says as following, I'm not going to grade you on this. I just wanted to give you something to think about. No one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone focused on the black dot. And the same happens in our very own lives. We have a white paper to observe and to enjoy, but we always focus on the dark spots. Our life is a gift given to us by God, by Hashem, with love and with care, and we always have reasons to celebrate, whether it be nature renewing itself every single day, whether it's our friends around us, whether it's the job that provides our livelihood, whether it's the miracles that we see every single day. However, we insist on focusing only on the dark spots, the health issues that bother us, the lack of money and financial difficulties that we have, the complicated relations that we're involved with a family member, the disappointment of a friend, etc. The dark spots are very small compared to everything else we have in our lives, but they are the ones that pollute our minds. Take your eyes away from the black dots in your life. Enjoy each one of your blessings, each moment that life gives you. Be happy and live a life of positivity. Powerful message, but we have to incorporate it into our lives. That's the hard part. But I heard an unbelievable quote by my very, very good friend, the world-renowned lecturer and author, the Mohel Rabbi Pesach Kron. I'm going to say this quote a little bit slow in order for you to digest it. If you have a pen and paper, if you have a phone, usually speakers encourage people to shut off their phones. I'm encouraging you to open your phones and take notes, because this quote could in essence change your life forever. And the quote is as follows. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift from God. That's why we call it the present. I'm going to repeat that. That deserves a round of applause. What do you think? Yeah? Okay, there you go. Once again, yesterday is a history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift from God. That's why we call it the present. Powerful, powerful quote. And I just want that to sink in a little bit. If we live life as if it's the last day we're alive, who knows what tomorrow is going to happen? How many people do we know that chas v'shalom we should never know of, but they didn't wake up in the morning for whatever reason? If we live life like that, how can we be depressed? How can we be sad? How can we think about these things? We have every second we can live in order to accomplish, in order to produce, in order to live life. There's so much good out there. For every problem that a person has in this world, I'm not talking about the next world, which is all good, and the highest pleasure that we have in this world doesn't compare to the closest part of the next world. I'm talking about in this world. The Rabbanim tell us that for every issue, problem that a person has, 500 times more does he have good. That means for every time you have a toothache, you have 500 times, a billion. I think it should be a billion times more. Every other part of your body works. But when we focus on the tooth or on pinking, on the small issues. Let's take this concept a step further with your permission. We all know the famous incident of Yosef Tzaddik, Joseph. He's one of my favorite I guess for a lack of better words, characters in the Torah. Tzaddik, unbelievable. He was taken away from his father and his family because of his own brothers who tried killing him. Then he was sold to a foreign land where he was all by himself. And on top of all that, he was put in prison on false charges. I want you to keep in mind that he was only a 17-year-old child. He was a kid. The question is very simple, I ask. How in the world did he not become crazy? How did he not lose his mind? The funny thing is, if you look in the Torah, when the baker and the butler were put into prison, power put in we all know the story. Yosef sees them, and he asks them, Lama panechem ra'im? Why is your face sour? He's basically asking them, why are you guys sad? And we think to ourselves, Yosef, what's wrong with you? They went to prison. Prison, which is prison nowadays where we have sofas, we have a bed, and we have 3 meals, and we have television. It was prison in Egypt, which was a third world country, which was basically a rat hole. Why would they not be happy? Why in the world are you asking, Lama, why are you guys sad? Very, very funny. The Mefarshim, the commentators explain that Yosef HaTzadik had a positive outlook. He controlled his mind. He told himself that he will be leaving soon. Any day now, I'm going to be getting out of here. And eventually what happens is that not only does he leave the jail, but he leaves the jail and becomes one of the most powerful people in the entire world. That's the power of the mind. You could be in the lowest of the low and then become the highest of the high. It's all right over there. There's a few issues. One issue is people aren't happy. People can't tell themselves everything is good because they don't get what they want. You want something, right? You really want it, and you don't get it. So that's what's going to make you, quote unquote, sad, right? So listen to the following. Number 1, 3 points about this. There was a man in the times of the great Baal Shem Tov. He had a lust for stealing. He was trying to control himself, but it's difficult. And one morning, one night, in the middle of the night, he decides, I can't control myself anymore. I'm going to the queen's palace. He used to work for the king. The king, for whatever reason, passed away at a young age. And the queen was obviously devastated. And she didn't know who to blame, what the reasons were. But she made a decree that everyone that ever worked for the king, I don't want to see your face, everyone away, we're going to get new staff, this and that, the whole. And to his shock, he didn't have a job, so he needed the money. And in the middle of the night, he says, I'm going to go to the Queen's Palace. I know the in and out of that place. I used to be over there, a hustler. I used to be the head over there. I used to be helping out. And he goes over there in the middle of the night, and he's about to steal. He knows where the safe is. He starts walking slowly, obviously, and to his amazement, the door opens. It wasn't even locked. He didn't have to break in. And then what happens is that the guards and the lions, whoever, they're all sleeping. He's like, yo, God's telling me to do this, right? It's got to be. And then he walks towards the safe. You know how it is, the big pictures, right? You open the big picture, you move it away, and then you have the safe. And he's about to start playing around with the codes, right? But the codes, he didn't even have to play around with it. It was kind of open. He just had to pull. And he pulls, and there he is in the safe of the queen's palace. Diamonds, gold, silver, money, you name it, it's in there. And he takes out from his back pocket 2 big garbage bags, black bags, and he starts filling it in whatever his hands could get. 1, 2, and he fills up 2 bags. And he tells himself, Yalla, I'm ready to go. And he's about to step out, and all of a sudden he gets this burst of inspiration. What am I doing? How could I do this? Gneva, stealing, I cannot steal. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. And he starts taking one by one all the gold and the silver and the diamonds and the money out of the bags and putting it back into the safe the way it was. And he walks quietly out, closes everything as if he was never there. Goes home, goes to sleep in the morning. he gets a knock on the door. His heart pumps really fast. And he's scared. He thinks, maybe someone saw or caught or something happened. And to his amazement, it was the Gabbai, it was the helper of the famous Baal Shem Tov. What's he doing in my front door? He thinks to himself. Oh, he probably heard. Oh, I'm in big trouble. Oh my gosh, how did I do this to myself? Oh, yeah. But he tells him, okay, I'll open the door. He opens the door and he sees the Gabbai, the helper of the Baal Shem Tov, the very big rabbi, the holy rabbi. And he says, how can I help you? He says, everything is fine and dandy. It's just that the rabbi sent me here to ask you to come to his office today at 2 o'clock. He wants to meet with you. He said, okay. Maybe, I don't know what he wants. So he's worried. Maybe he knows. Maybe he heard. And 2 o'clock comes. He comes to the rabbi. And he says, Rabbi, you asked me to come here. Here I am. And the rabbi tells him that the queen spoke to him. And this guy's heart is pumping, right? He's scared. And she spoke to the rabbi asking if she knows of any potential people that she could get married to. After 1 year of her husband's passing, the king's passing, she's looking around. And I was thinking, who would be a good potential guy? And, I was thinking about you. What do you think about it? You willing to give it a try? And Meirov, ladies and gentlemen, they go out, obviously. And the next thing you know, that he gets married and he becomes the king. And all the gold, diamond, silver, money that he was going to steal was his anyways. If something belongs to you, if you want something, you're going to get it. If Hashem says it's right for you, if God says it's right for you, you're going to get it. The question is, should I steal it or should I get it the right way? If it's yours, you'll get it. That's one amazing, amazing point about if you want something and not being sad about it. Another thing is, everything has its right time. I want to get married, I want to have children, I want to have a job, and they want it now, right? But you have to understand, chill, give it some time. There's a story, I believe it was a stipler, a big rabbi. He was doing a wedding ceremony. The chatan and the kala, the bride and the groom were there. And it's time for when the chatan, the groom, puts the tabad, the ring, on the bride's finger. And, he was a good kid, and he was a little bit nervous. So everyone's watching as he says the famous line, Hare, T'mekudesh. He's a little bit nervous. Li, betabad, zu, kedab Moshe Israel. And instead of putting in his future wife's finger, the ring drops. The whole crowd is like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He dropped the ring. Maybe it's not meant to be. Oy. Everyone's making a commotion and whispering one to the other. What happens is the rabbi tells him to the chassan, pick up the ring, take 2, try it again, let's go. Takes the ring, this time he's nervous even more, right? He just embarrasses himself. He's shaking like crazy. He's about to put the ring into the finger, and he drops it again. He drops it a second time. This time everyone is saying, oh no, stop the wedding, stop everything, stop the ceremony. It must be from God, a sign, this and that. And the rabbi tells the chatan, the groom, pick up the ring, take 3. Try it again, let's go. Takes the ring for a 3rd time. And again, he's even more nervous this time. His hands are shaking like crazy. And what happens is, that Baruch Hashem he goes in. Baruch Hashem, thank God. And the wedding ceremony is over, and everyone storms the rabbi. Rabbi, it's meant to be. What he missed it. It could be that it's not meant to. The rabbi's like, guys, relax, don't worry. Everything has its right time. This couple was supposed to get married at 8:35 p.m. We started the ceremony a little bit early. It took him 5 minutes to get the ring into the finger in order for it to be the right time. If you give time, everything will happen. B'ezrat Hashem, everything is meant to be. But I pray day and night. I never get what I want. God doesn't answer my prayers. How do we answer that? There was one time a child, a very cute child, a yeshiva bachar, a student in the yeshiva. He went to a shul. And in the shul, he was praying so beautifully. Everyone already left, and he's still praying. The gabbai, the helper in the shul, wants to close up the shul, but the kid is still praying and praying. And the gabbai is like, if it was anybody else, I would take him and throw him out, right? I want to get home as well. But he's such a cute kid. He's a good kid. I'll wait for him. He probably has something, an issue or whatever it is. And he waits, and the kid finishes the prayers, right? And he's about to leave, and the gabbai, the helper of the shul, says, hey, one second. Everything okay at home? How are your parents feeling? You have a test coming up? What's going on? They're like, no, everything's fine. My parents are fine. I don't have a test coming up. So let me answer your question. What's with this? You're praying so nicely. I was very impressed. And the child becomes a little bit, red, blushes a little bit. And he tells the person, I was actually praying for a bike. I wanted a bike. And the gabbai said, oh, that's so cute. Okay, I pray that, I wish that your prayers are answered. Okay, great. So they go to the merrily ways. What happens is that a few weeks or months later, this individual sees this child on the street walking. And the individual goes over to the child. He's actually excited to hear what's happening. He's like, no, were your prayers answered? And he says, yes, my prayers were answered. And the individual tells the child, okay, so where's your bike? He's like, let me explain. My prayers were answered, but the answer was no. Every single prayer is answered. But sometimes God knows it's not meant to be. This is a child with a bike, but sometimes it could be a bigger house, it could be a Lexus or a nicer car. Whatever it is. Moshe Rabbeinu, amazing, right? What he's accomplished. He's the Rabbeinu, the rabbi of all of Am Yisrael, right? When he prayed 515 times to go into the land of Israel, God tells him, stop praying. Stop. No more. And what happens is he doesn't go into the land of Israel. He doesn't enter. And the rabbis ask, what happened to those 515 prayers? Where did they go? And they answer beautifully that it's not sent to the waste. It's in a bank. And every single child and grandchild and descendant and great descendant of Moshe Rabbeinu is using it. We're using it till today. Look at the miracles that we have in the land of Israel, 1967, Yom Kippur War, and all these things. Well, you think it's because of us? What do we merit these things? It's all because of our great Moshe Rabbeinu, who prayed to be in the land of Israel. He himself wasn't answered, but his great descendants and children and great-grandchildren till today are reaping from those prayers. No such thing as a prayer left to waste. No such thing. We pray and we pray and we pray. We're going to eventually, some way, somehow benefit from it. Powerful points. But we have to always keep in mind, Hakol le'tova. Everything is for the best. Things happen to us. We get angry. We're sad. But we have to keep in mind everything is for the best. I'll share with you a story that brings this point home. Two amazing airplane stories. One was that a person was preparing to go on a business trip. He was so excited about it because it was going to be a very big, business interaction with many big people. And he was preparing for it for months. He told his wife ahead of the time, you're going to your mother's house, you're staying there for a whole week, you're probably so happy. Take the kids over there. He told his business partners, his business workers, everyone, I'm going away, I'm not around, don't bother me, etc. Early in the morning, the day of the trip, he wakes up, excited. He prepared all of his luggages. He goes to the airport, waits online, and unbelievable. He gets to the front desk where the glass is, right? The person's behind the glass. And he shows them the ticket information. And they tell him, sir, we're so sorry to tell you, but the plane is full. He's laughing. He's like, you don't understand. I booked this a while ago. They're like, okay, it could be a computer glitch. It could be, I don't know what it is. But this plane is full. And sorry. He's like, say what? And they're like, okay, we'll tell you one more time. The plane is full. And there's no room for you. And we're sorry. He's about to get angry. He's like, oh, okay. Is there another flight? I got to go there. They check on the computer. No, nothing. I don't see anything. Not for a long time. What? And he's angry. And he said, I want to speak to the manager. I got to take this. And he doesn't know what to do. He wants to punch her, but he can't. There's a glass thing over there, right? So he's full of anger. And he calls people, everyone, but no one's helping. No one could do anything. And what happens is, he gets home. He breaks the news to his wife, and she gets upset at him. I was going to enjoy my mother's house. It's your full, it's your crown, etc., right? So what happens is that later on in the day, the next day he hears, obviously it's not a true story, but you never know if such a thing as that the whole plane crashes. No one's alive. Is he still going to be angry? No. Oh, Baruch Hashem, thank God. But we have to understand one thing, that always when something happens, there's a reason for it. And we learn this from the Purim story, right? Pay close attention on Purim this year. When they put out the Megillah, what do? What's halakha? You open up the whole scroll. Pay attention. Every shul, everywhere, they do it. What's the reason the rabbis explain to us? Because in order for you to understand the Purim story, you have to see the whole picture. You have to open it all up. If you look at one chapter or one column, it won't make sense. Same thing in life. I'll elaborate this with the traffic. You live in New York, right? There's always traffic. So 3 ways of understanding things that happen in life. Number 1 is when you're sitting in traffic, bumper to bumper. There's no room, there's nowhere to go. You get upset, you're annoyed, right? But all of a sudden, traffic starts going, and you drive, and you see, oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. There's a huge car accident. 7 cars, collision. Now I understand why there was bumper-to-bumper traffic. You see the reason for the difficulty. You see the reason for the traffic. You see the problem. Another time, you're stuck in traffic. All of a sudden, the traffic starts clearing up. You start driving, but you don't see anything. But you get home, your wife tells you, your worker at work tells you, you hear what happened to this bridge? He's like, no, but I was on it. What happened to this bridge? Oh my gosh, a 16-wheeler flipped through it, blocked the whole thing. That's why there was crazy traffic. Oh, now I understand. He understands a little bit later what happened and the reason for it. And many times we're stuck in traffic and we continue driving and we never ever know. Same thing in life, many times things happen to us. Sometimes we'll understand instantly, wow, I understand why. Oh, if I would have went on this and that. Other times, you won't know right away. You'll know a few days later, or a month later, or a year later. And sometimes we'll never know until we go up there. Everything will be explained to us because we have to look at the bigger picture. We're here for 120 years, right? That's only one part of the picture. This world has been around for thousands of years before, and we have a few years left, right? We don't know what the whole game is, what the whole story is. That's another point that we have to take with us in our back pocket. Another thing is, I mentioned to you another story about the airport. There was a person in the airport, very famous story, worth repeating just for the lesson. He was on an airport getting ready to go on a flight. It was early in the morning. And what happens is that in the airport, he starts putting on his tefillin. And while praying, he's about to finish, he gets a tap on his shoulder. He sees an older individual asking him, sir, is it okay I use your phylacteries? Phylacteries in English, that's the word for tefillin. And he says, sure, no problem. You want to use it? Yeah, here. I haven't done this for a very long time. I haven't done it since I was in day school. And he was an older individual. Wow, should I help you? He's like, no, I still remember. Believe it or not, I have good memory. And the older individual starts putting on his tefillin in the airport, and he prays there. And this individual that lent in the tefillin is sitting over there, and he hears this, and this flight number is ready to board. You could start going on your plane. And people start lining up, and he's there on the line. He gets into the plane. And what happens is that in the plane, he starts checking, okay, I have my phone. Okay, I have my wallet. Okay, I have my passport. Okay, I have my luggage. And he hears the pilot saying, okay, ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. We're about to board this flight that's taking off. It's going to take an hour, whatever, 2, 3, whatever hours it was. And whatever, they give you all the rules. I don't travel a lot on a plane, so I don't understand this stuff. But they tell you the whole rules, and you can't get up, and you have to wait. And he's checking everything, making sure he has everything. Oh no, I forgot my tefillin! I forgot my tefillin in the airport. And he gets up right away, and the stewardess says, hey sir, what are you doing? You have to sit down, the airplane's about to go. He said, no, I forgot something very important, my luggage of mine, a piece of whatever. He's not going to start explaining to this, going, what this is. And he starts, quote unquote, fighting back and forth with her. I need to get off the plane, get me off the plane. And he's making a whole commotion. And he starts to feel a little bit, embarrassed, I'm making a whole commotion over here. And he starts thinking, so maybe it's not worth it. But he says, no, I'm not going to get tefillin. I'm not going to have time to get, I don't know, it's not possible. Either I miss. And then all of a sudden, this big guy comes. And he says, what's the problem? And he starts blushing a little bit and he says, long story short, I need to get off the plane for a quick second. It'll be very, very quick. I'll run, I'll get my thing, I'll come right back. The man says, listen, it's already 12 minutes of our time that you're going back and forth. We have to get going. We have a flight. We have people waiting. But I'll be nice to you. I'll give you two options. Either you sit down nicely and let us go, or I'll let you go, but you can't come back. Choose one. He starts thinking, what am I going to do? Such an important flight. I cannot miss it. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And he decides to do what's right, and he says, I'm going to go. He leaves, gets out of the plane, gets his feeling, by the way. This is a true story. He gets out of the plane. He goes home. His wife again gets upset at him. What are you coming home for, right? All the ladies get upset. All kidding aside. They want to have some vacation, right? They're excited when the guy leaves. So what happens is that he comes home, and ladies and gentlemen, that plane was the second plane that hit the Twin Towers on 9/11. Ladies and gentlemen, he saved his life. He would have been in the plane in Chas v'Shalom. But not only did he save his own life, ladies and gentlemen, he saved countless amounts of other people's lives, and let me explain to you why. The terrorists, Yimach Shemam, their plans were that they're going to have both planes hit at the same time to make a dramatic effect, boom, to the whole world. But there was about approximately, I believe it was 15 or 18-minute difference. And do you know why? Because of this Jew that made a whole commotion in the plane for his tefillin. And hundreds and if not thousands of people saved their lives. You know why? When the first plane hit the first tower, people on the second tower felt it. People around the city felt it. And they're like, whoa, what's going on over here? They ran out of the top of the towers. Not all of them, unfortunately, but many of them did. All thanks to this individual. Morai Rabotai, Hakol Letova. Everything is a sad story, 100%. But you have to understand in Hebrew, once again, Mikre, which means a coincidence, is the same exact letters as Rak Me'Hashem. There is no such thing as a coincidence in this world. Everything is from Hashem Yitbarach, from God Almighty. We just sometimes don't see it. It's hard for us to see. Morai Rabotai, that is the power of the mind. The power of the mind has the ability to affect your life, has the ability to affect your business, has the ability to affect your family, your relationships, ... You fill in the blanks with whatever your heart desires. Bederach she'adam olech molechim oto. In the way that a person chooses to go, they assist him. You have to keep in mind that the word sameach, happiness, is broken down as shamoach. Sameach, shamoach. Shamoach means that's where your thoughts are. Sameach is where your thoughts are. You have to start thinking positively. You have to say, Hakol Letova. Everything is for the best. You have to encourage yourself, and you have to put this quote on your fridge. You have to put this quote on your fridge. I'm going to say it one more time because I love it so much. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift from God. That's why we call it a present. We cannot complain anymore. We have to share with you one last thought. The thought is as follows. We know that in the Talmud, in Pirkei Avot, it says, Ezehu Ashir HaSameach Bechelko. Who is considered wealthy? One that is happy with his lot, right? Ashir in Hebrew, if you take the letters, you get the following, okay? Ashir Aleph is Einaim. Einaim is your eyes. Ashir, you're wealthy if you have eyes. And there's stories upon stories about people without eyes that will pay millions of dollars to get their vision, right? The fact that we have eyes and vision is something that we should be so happy for. Shin is shinaim, teeth. Okay, if you have teeth, I hope the older people don't kill me. You have something to be happy about, okay? Shin. Yud is yadayim, your hands. If you have hands, you're wealthy. You know how many people will buy your hands for any amount? And last but not least, Resh stands for Raglayim, your feet. You're able to walk. Every single individual, we have billions of dollars sitting in this room. Every single individual in this room is wealthy to no end. The fact that we have inayim, eyes, shinaim, our teeth, yadayim, our hands, and raglaim, our feet, we're rich. What else do we want? We have money. Money is rich, right? We have all these items. If you don't want them, you could sell, you'll be rich, right? So we have nothing to complain about. Morai Rabotai, ladies and gentlemen, let's all choose tonight to be positive, which will in essence make us happy, and that in essence will definitely make us more successful. Thanks again for coming, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.